What's going on, gamers? Yeah, that's right, guys. More Helldivers 2 drama. Yesterday, it was a break, but today we're back at it. Yeah, we got Red Dragon and we got Oliver Darko. Yo, we got the ponies acting up again. So according to Red Dragon, and there's going to be some corrections here because I think that's a misunderstanding. He says Helldivers 2 didn't even crack the top 5 on Xbox. Uh-oh, guys. This is very funny. So this is the interesting thing about this thread. We're going to read some comments here. Clicking on this, it says right here, Circana US top 15 active users chart, not sales, week ending August 30th. So let's keep this in mind. This is when it launched, and this is how many were active just at that current point. And they're trying to grab that based off of, that process. So remember, this is not sales, this is people who are actually on playing the game, which is funny. Here's where Reloaded misses PlayStation engagement charts, but ranks number 7 on Xbox. Because it was free and people just easily got on just to check it out real quick. So this is kind of slimy in a bit. Helldivers 2 ranks number 6 on Xbox and number 13 on PlayStation. Previous week, number 31. So what this means is that, remember, Helldivers 2 launched at the end of August. So you only had like 2 days of tracking. And that's for active people actually playing, not sales. So this is not a misunderstanding. Ponies, sit down. The game sold a lot more after that, which is what I find funny. And even the stats that we were given were kind of saying that. For example, going over to this thread on Reddit, it says Helldivers 2 reaches highest ever player count since launch, 500,000, right? After Halo DLC and Xbox release. So if it has the highest ever, then obviously it did good and it reached that peak, and a lot of people were liking the Halo crossover. Everything that they did benefited it. Backing up here, the recent reports that we had were saying that it hit 926,000 in the first 6 days of its release. If this is true or not, right? This had sold too, by the way, and that was on August 26. The figure exceeded the game's initial sales of PlayStation 5 during the 6-day launch period in 2024, when it sold 633,000 units. Now we are going to have to see where this is going to go. I'm not saying this is 100% true, but it's pretty obvious, again, like we talked about it before. They want to paint this and make it look negative, and that's why they had to bring it up. And they're bringing up an active user chart and not a sales chart, which I kind of find funny here. But we're going to keep going here. She says, Helldivers 2 ranks number 6 on Xbox. Clicking on this chart right here, we see active players. Obviously, Call of Duty's headquarters. Of course, it's going to have active people. That's active. It's Call of Duty. Fortnite, active. Roblox is active users. GTA, these are people that are always active at the highest degrees. All of these. The only thing you see what I'm saying, guys? Active users. This makes sense. Now, you didn't say sales, so this is deceptive. Let's back up here. Actually, let's scroll down here. It says, makes Alina's claims seem even more ridiculous now. But that's not the thing. They were talking about sales. This is active user chart based off of a few days of tracking. PlayStation majority buys sports, unlike competitive shooters and racer games. Hence, Forza doing great, while Xbox majority plays on Game Pass, so the results are unsurprising to me. Going over here, we see this kind of a similar thing here. Like, this is the same thing pretty much, except up here it's selling really well. Obviously selling more than this, that's pretty obvious. And you would say that this has more copies sold in our placements. But once again, active users is, you got to give more sales than that. And we don't even know what the hell those numbers even mean. So I kind of find this stuff kind of funny here to me. Going down though, this guy says that Xbox games dominated PlayStation charts. Hey man, they've been doing pretty good all year. I said I literally counted the Xbox players day one, and it was 34,000 approximate. No one took notice. I don't know what the hell he's trying to say. I guarantee you it sold a lot more than this. But you guys are going to have to let me know what you think about this funny stuff. Going back over to Red Dragon's comments, Kid Smooth says it cracked the top 10. Let's see what they say. So it can crack the top 10, but that doesn't mean if it ain't the flop 5. Also, how long will it keep the number 6 spot as well? Like, come on, what happened to the true Xbox fans? The funny thing about this is that when you looked at the recent Xbox sales later on, it became number 1 across all those games when it comes to sales. But they're not showing that. They ignored all that and they went to try to show this so they can paint it in a negative pictures. I'm telling you, ponies, sit down. This is what they're doing, guys. This guy says it's top 6 when Gears didn't even chart on PlayStation. Ain't that an L for you, ponies? I'm the not buying game scenario. Yeah, no, I know what he means. Hold on, let's see what somebody says about this. Gears isn't a top tier game. I don't know about that. Back in the days, it definitely is, and it's still better than a lot of shooters coming out today. Gears ain't top tier, and whose playbook? Nah, it ain't Concord Horizon. Yeah, I know. If you're coming from the PlayStation side, why are you talking about top tier, bro? Concord is yeah, and Sony keeps on remastering Last of Us because they can't make nothing better than it, and yeah, they're gonna have to show what they can do. Now, Helldivers, hey man, that's a different story. They got it going. But that's Team Arrowhead, but hey, I'll give them credit for that. Um, We'll see what happens with Gears. Still out here fighting the plastic box war. It's drying out, just like the algorithm for it. That's pretty funny. Even if Helldivers sold 1 million copies, this chart tracks players. Are we really shocked that Call of Duty, Fortnite, Roblox, and so on, that have millions of already established players, have more people, active people? So this is what I mean, guys. Grabbing a chart and trying to show active users on a base that is massively higher, that's been built up for years, and try to make it seem like it's low on the Xbox scale. This is a downplay and a deceptive tactic by Red Dragon and Lotto for Dargo. Hey, I have to say it, you ponies, but you guys are once again freaking tripping, man. Why are we doing this here? I just don't understand, guys. Ridiculous. So there we have it here. We get the idea, don't we? Nothing but hate going on over here. So key details about the Xbox launch. It says high demand. The strong sales suggested there was significant pent-up demand for the game on the Xbox platform. Sony's multi-platform push. The release was a landmark move for Sony, as it marked the first time a game published by PlayStation. Halo content. Top-selling title. Following its release, Helldivers 2 quickly reached to the top of the top paid sales chart on the Xbox Store. That's not something really made up here, but you're trying to show it number 6 as an active player. You should have showed that instead. Concurrent players. The launch also led to a significant spike in the game's concurrent player count, reaching 500,000 across all platforms. So what do you guys have to say about that? And then we had the article 4 days ago right here saying Helldivers 2 sold more on Xbox than PlayStation 5 in the first 6 days, right? Because that's what we were just talking about. So the articles was all around. It says, because this post has gained a significant amount of traction, we were going to remove it due to the firm's questionable and misleading, unethical handling of data, as they are guesstimate numbers, right? That's what they said. It says, Alina is the same company that counted Final Fantasy 16 sales on Xbox based on reviews posted on the US store. I don't know who's behind the website for sure, but it's pretty shady to say the least. This is what these people are saying on PlayStation side, I guess. The same goes for the daily exclusive websites that's linked. Right, the source is Alina Insight, right? If Sony somehow decides to release Spider-Man on Xbox, then it's basically a free hit for them. If Helldivers made them a bunch of cash, a game like Spider-Man will bring in a truckload more. I hope we do see more crossover games in the future. As a gamer, it's great. I'm loving Helldivers. We had this get more likes than anything else. This is what I find interesting. Go all the way down here, guys. This had 227 likes. They're not hating. Microsoft would have made roughly 150 million in pure profit from releasing Forza 5 on PS5. The game development cost was already accounted years ago. Aside from the minor cost of marketing and porting the game, those 3 million upsells and at a conservative average price of $50 is a huge financial boost. No way Sony doesn't sit up and take notice of that and think that there is an untapped audience of almost 30 million Spider-Man fans out there, with a large percentage of them willing to pay $60 for a remaster of an 8-year-old game. I can understand that point of view. But anyways, looking at this and looking at the sources, I don't understand why they were ignoring store sales and giving us weird metrics to make it look like it was number 6, like it was a sale. So that just shows their fanboy insecurities. And once again, these are people who are not on track after seeing the success on Xbox and seeing how good it was doing, after seeing how everybody was getting along with the Helldivers situation, where it's the perfect time to cooperate, but instead, no, they want to play these games. That's why when we have those reacts, and I say what I say to MPG and other people, you say you want people to back off and take a break and come to the middle ground. Or people like Red Dragon and all these other fanboys are just not going to let that go. So therefore, that's why we have this video right here, and they're getting clipped and they're getting exposed. We've seen it. Pony, sit down. You guys keep going, and let's look forward to seeing that 1 million sales get reported. Then we're going to shut all this down and get it brought up. You know how we do it over here. All right, y'all, like, comment, subscribe. Later, y'all, get out on that field. Democracy needs you. Peace out. Fire a rocket at these losers.